Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Minutes with M and M. I'm Missan and that's Mena, and we're happy to have you here. So today we're going to be talking about the fourth season of You. Woo!
Yay!
That's just a lot of excitement for something that people seem to not be excited about right now. The second part dropped last night, and I'm not seeing a lot of buzz about it.
Really? I
Yeah,
just talked to someone and they were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching you." They're like, "Oh, it's only 5 episodes. It's out." Did Netflix not do a good job promoting the second half of the season?
I don't know. And I guess that leads us into the first question. I'm gonna let Mena go before me. So, how did you feel about season four?
I actually liked it, and I liked the second half more than the first half, or what the second half brought made me like the whole season more. I was thinking about it, and each season just kind of shows us how much Joe is devolving. Because in the first season, yeah, he killed some people, but you could kind of be like, didn't they all kind of deserve it? And then in the second season, it's like, okay, he's doing this again. That's kind of shady, but no, this is the last time. And he loves love. And then season three, you're like, bro, this girl is perfect for you, and you're still being terrible. And then we get to this season, it's like, okay, so you're just fully a crazy person. Like, there's nothing to save here. And I really like that every season is exactly the same. And I like what they did this season because you took him to a whole new place, whole new identity. Really, no reason for his life to go left the way it did. So really, the problem is you, Joe. The problem is you. So yeah, I liked it. Yay. What did you think?
Mixed feelings, mixed feelings. I think this season it was a lot. Okay. It took me out of my fantasy and it just was like, bam, Joe is horrible and he's insane. Because like in the first part, I was like, oh wow, look at him. These rich people are horrible. They're still horrible. That's a fact throughout
Oh,
the show.
fact.
But like the second half was like, you thought this person was normal, but let me show you what's happening right now. Because like the episode, like the Marianne's episode, I was like, hold up, what are you trying to tell me right now? So after a while, I really kind of settled into it. They were just like they were trying to just show us that, okay, first of all, it's impossible to compartmentalize all of that. And second of all, he's actually clinically insane. And third of all, like he's just a horrible person. And like I like that there was at least a part of him that was just like, I don't want to be this person. Like this is not who I really am. But after a while, I got very upset at like the fact that Rhys was following him around. I was like, I don't know, maybe
Oh,
I wanted to.
I loved Grace. I loved
I
Fake
I
Grace.
like I liked him as a character, but like him as like Joe's all
So
the horrible
psyche.
parts of Joe, it was irritating. I don't know if I wanted two Joes, maybe one just dressed in like horns. I don't know. I was just like, this is it. Like, just it just feels weird. I was just like, get out. In fact, when they
So
pushed
funny.
him off the bridge, I was like, yes.
I loved Reese being Joe's psyche. Loki, I want to see him in season 4 as well. I just thought he was really funny. And I just appreciated his British accent being like, you're crazy. It's okay. Let's just do it.
Just accept me. I'm part of you.
And like a couple of things you said. So the whole like kind of pulling out of your fantasy, I get what you mean because even though you shouldn't, you kind of root for Joe because he's the protagonist, which is what we've been doing up until this point. But I really like that they were like, okay, let's explain to you fans how this is not okay. He is not okay. What he's doing is not okay. His justifications make no sense. He's a murderer. So I really like them leaning on that. And then in terms of his mental health, I really appreciated that they were like, this is not just compartmentalizing. Okay, compartmentalizing. I'm not going to use that word again, but putting yourself into boxes. You know what I mean, guys. I know you mentioned that, but it's really just he just fractured his personality because you can't be normal going through life and just murdering people and also telling yourself you're a good person. Like these two things don't work together. And I like that his brain was like, fine, I'm too tired to keep up with this. There's going to be two of you now. Congrats. But the way it happened was so wild. And I don't mean how we saw it, like the actual him like hitting his head on the box and then being like, this isn't Joe, or my name's not Joe. Like Marianne's face in that moment killed me because he's like, I'm not Joe. And Marianne was like, oh my God, not only have you kidnapped me, you're actually like more crazy than I thought.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Scary vibes, scary
I don't
vibes.
know. There's still a little bit of like there's still some loopholes for me in my head because I know it's easy for them to be like, okay, all this time where you thought there was a killer, it was actually just you. Okay, I guess they're trying to say that all these rich people are just so elusive. Like they just can't see somebody kill. Like it just like sometimes I'm just like, what's going on? Like the killing happened and then you ran to the room. So what? You killed Gemma, stepped out the door, and then ran back in as Joe
I
to
mean, pretty
kill.
much. It feels like very similar to the first few seasons where he would just kill people and get away with it. To me, it's the same as when he stalks people by wearing a hat and no one notices. In Joe's world, people are just not observant. He can just blatantly murder people and keep walking and nobody notices it.
And
And
he doesn't remember doing that at all. Only the Rhys part of him.
yeah, shout out to multiple personality disorder or
That's
DID.
crazy, man. That's crazy.
It really is. So before the first half of the show, obviously the whole thing's that Joe is the killer at the end. But when you watch the first half and it was Rhys, were you shocked or were you like, oh, I thought it was gonna be Rhys?
I wasn't shocked.
Okay. Obviously it's pointless because it is Joe, quote unquote. But I was surprised by it being Rhys because I was suspecting his student because she was doing too much. And we're going to talk about Nadia in a moment because choices, babe, choices. Then when we find out that he's been hallucinating, I was shook. I didn't see it coming. I went to go read the comments and someone actually called it in like episode 2. They were like, oh, Joe's the killer. He's just like imagining it like it's a Fight Club situation. First of all, I don't know what kind of drugs that person is doing that they were able to figure it out because that was very impressive very quickly. But once they said that was it kind of made more sense to me because Joe, what are the odds that there's another psychopath that is killing people that finds Joe that's now messaging him and going, I know who you
I
are.
don't know. I guess because the same way we ask ourselves, what are the odds that Joe gets away with everything? I think I just found it weird but viable for like that universe. And like the biggest plot hole for me is like when Roald was like following him in the woods, trying to kill him. And then apparently Rhys knocked him out and threw both of them in there and started a fire. But like, what was going on in reality?
Oh, it was just Joe, because Joe's the one who knocked out Roald when he tried to kill him. So I guess he just blacked out and then he imagines getting knocked out. He took him down to change them.
So he imagined getting knocked out. He imagined chaining himself, but he actually chained himself as well.
He chained himself. Yeah.
And then he started a fire while still being chained up. Like he started a fire. Like,
but the fire was easy. He just knocked over the thing and it started the fire. Look, the way you feel right now, that's how Joe felt when he was watching himself shout at himself. He was like, where's the person I'm talking to?
If you say so. Like, that's all I'm going to say.
What? To me, him being so crazy that he's disassociated is so realistic. What does not make sense to me, but it's very realistic. That Kate heard all his secrets and was like, fine, I love you. But it's fine because she's one of the rich people. Even though she likes to think she's different, she's just as bad as the rest of them because Joe confessed all of his crimes and she's like, well, I love you. Let's be together. I'm going to whitewash your history.
I found it weird that they didn't show us the scene. Like the first thing after his real name should have been like, by the way, I killed your dad. Unless he never told her that he killed her dad. Like, I'm confused.
So that's the thing. I feel like next season, we're going to find out what truths were told and what truths weren't told. So like, obviously everything involving love, I'm assuming was told to her. So she knows about that. She knows that he killed Rhys and she's just fine with it.
Does she know about Marienne?
I don't know. But Marienne technically killed herself. So I'm sure the way Joe said it was, I was going to free her, but then she did these drugs and she overdosed. So
that's starving her for days.
I mean, I didn't mean to. I didn't remember her dying.
Honestly, Kate's character arc really let me down. It really did. But at the end of the day, I guess they're trying to say like, don't like rich people are all the same. Yeah. So like I shouldn't expect much from them. Your dad wants to hand you an empire and like, no, I don't want the empire. Like I achieved everything. I don't know. At what point do you sit back and be like, okay, let me look back at my achievements? Like everything I achieved, like, do I actually have the sauce or maybe it's my dad? I don't know. Like, it's like, because me, after like the 5th thing, like maybe the 5th award or something, I'm going to be like, huh. Because if you know your dad, I don't know. Like,
I love that you're like she's sauceless, but like, look, Kate is very much a pretentious rich person who pretends that she's better than she is. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you think you are. You're friends with all these terrible people. When Simon is harassing girls, when this one is out here literally abusing people, like you can't. You're not better than them. If you were, you would seek better friends. So I think that was the first sign. Like she's standoffish and she thinks she's looking down at them, but you're friends with her. Even Gemma, that was horrible. First of all, I'm glad Gemma died. I don't even care. But they were all like, oh, this is how Gemma is. You want to be friends with these people. You're like them. Fantastic. Good job. Number two, I think it's so great that the show pointed out that Joe is basically exactly like Kate's dad. Because when he was yelling at her, he's like, I love you the most. I'm doing everything for you. I'm like, this is literally how Joe rationalizes things. He's like, I love you more than everyone. And that's why I'll do horrible things to protect you and help you, even if you don't want it. So, it comes back to daddy issues. She looks for a man exactly like her father. Congrats, Kate. The circle continues.
I knew, the moment she started falling for him, when he was like, I need to protect you. It's not safe. It's not safe right here in this garden. Let me protect you. I'm like, okay. And then she's like, I don't need any protection. I don't need it. But then she looks at him like, wow, he's always staring at me through the window. Wow, that's so romantic. I'm like,
no, it's big delusional. Babe, close your curtains. Her and Beck. This is why they want to die. Like, someone is looking at you and you're like, ooh, sexy. What's wrong with you? I can't. Talking about girls that are victimized by Joe, I really appreciate that we got to see Beck and Love, even though it was just in a dream. Like, shout out Guinevere. You were the first girl that we got to see on screen, Joe being crazy for. And Love, even though you were super crazy and genuinely Joe had to kill you or you were going to kill him, it was still great to see her on screen. Isn't it crazy that Marienne is the only woman who survived Joe and he thinks she's dead? Like,
it's insane. That's like insane luck, I think.
Right? But like, is she gonna commit? Like, if I were her, I'd move to Spain. I'd change me and my daughter's name. Like, I'm not gonna stay because he's just gonna see a picture of you one day and be like, is that not Marianne? Like, you need to run away. Like, and now he's basically the head of Google. Like, he can find anyone. He has millions of dollars at his like disposal. Girl, you need to hide.
They have wiped his history. Like, he's using his real name and he's coming out like saying, yes, this is me. Like, I'm sorry, the last 4 or 5 minutes was so scary. Like, he was fetching that coffee and I was like, you guys are so powerful and scary right now. Like, it's insane. Like, I'm excited for next season now because I'm like, what are they going to get up to?
They're just going to blow up the world. Also, I really like it because to me it's realistic. I genuinely am of the belief that really rich people can do whatever they want, not because it's right, but because they have the power to. And I fully believe that, yeah, Joe married a really, really rich woman who controls news media and internet searches, and they just fixed his life, and no one's going to call him out for it because he's cute. So he's just fine. Mm-hmm. And that brings me on to Nadia. On one hand, I feel so bad for her. Like, it's not fair. You didn't deserve this. But on the other hand, why can't people mind their fucking business? All this babe had to do was read her books, and she would be frolicking with her man, who wouldn't be dead, by the way, because she's the one who dragged him into this. So now her man's dead, she's in prison, and Joe is a millionaire/billionaire.
I'm grateful for Nadia poking around because she helped Marienne escape, but it should have ended there. Like, you woke up, you were in the library, you were with the love of your life, you realize that he loves you because who else is going to give you drugs and like let you just do horrible things. And then you're like, no, something's missing. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Do you think you're Benoit Blanc? Like, did someone pay you?
I can't. I feel so bad for Eddie because he was really like, oh, I love you. We're doing the right thing. And now, oh my God, you know what? I think it bugs me so much because they're young, like they're uni students. Like, you have your whole life ahead of you. Why were you being nosy about crazy rich people's business? It was not like, I mean, I'm glad that Marianne got out and I'm glad that Juliet has her mom. But basically, the trade-off was Marianne for Eddie and Nadia. And I would have rather had Nadia and Eddie live. I'm so sorry. Like, it just...
Really?
She was already gone for 4 weeks. Everybody in her life probably already assumed she had disappeared. So, let's just
she has a child, man.
I
don't know. But I was just thinking, just random thoughts. Imagine you're actually Rhys and you're just on your own, minding your business, running for mayor, and then someone breaks into your house and is asking like, what are you doing? Where is this? Where's Marianne? And then it's torturing you until you die.
That is so scary and so unfair because the worst thing that Rhys did was like exaggerate some of his backstory, but he was apparently genuinely a good guy who was trying to do good in a city like London. And now he's dead because Joe couldn't handle the fact that he's a bad guy. He's just like, no, it had to be someone else's projection.
Oh my God. Because like at that point, I thought I was going crazy. I was like, what do you mean? He seems really scared and genuine. Like he's like, I don't know who you are. I'm like, how far is he willing to take this? And then when Rhys, like when the Rhys in his head stepped out, I was like, obviously he has a twin.
Girl, you and me both. My soap opera body jumped in. I was like, this is obviously his secret twin that nobody knew about. Like, I was like, this makes the most sense. Obviously, I didn't even no. I feel so bad for him though because his only mistake was being friendly-ish with the rich people. Because when we go through the flashback, he was only there for big things like the funeral or like the first night, but he wasn't actually going to all their like weird drinking activities. So he's not even really close to them on a day-to-day basis. But because like, no, think about it. Remember,
Joe just never met him even at that club.
He only saw him in person once. So he saw him in the club, but they didn't talk in the club.
Okay.
But he was there, but the version of him that he talked to was in his head. So he was like, oh, you know, I was told to come talk to you. No, nobody told me to come and talk to you. And I'm just like, oh no. The only rich person that kind of got a happy ending was Phoebe. I'm glad that she got away from there and she, you know, doing good things with her life and teaching Thai kids English. I guess that's what you're doing with your life now, sure. And I'm glad that your husband is dead. I'm glad they killed him because he was actually being so fucking awful.
No, like I just don't know how people can justify that to be love in their head. And I know I just heard what I said because like we're talking about Joe, but seriously, he was like, I love you. I'm going to take all your money and like control it.
And it's so crazy because they even mention it, like the only reason you're getting cut off from your family's massive wealth is because you're obsessed with running a business, but you're failing at it. So if he stopped trying to run a club and just accepted his wealth status and collected money from his dad, he wouldn't get cut off. But he keeps going into debt because he keeps running failing businesses. So like, you're not even actually poor, but now you want to ruin Phoebe's life because you have no self-control. Also, you like getting peed on. Okay? Shame.
The fact that Phoebe actually tried to engage, bless her heart. Like, just bless her heart.
My girl said, I'm ready to pee on you and you're hesitating. What is the problem?
No, that entire thing was so cringe. And I was just like worried for her, like, especially like after the engagement and after like he was supposed to drive her to like rehab and he didn't. And then they came back engaged and I was just like, this is insane. And then I don't know. I felt so bad for Kate in that moment because she was really like trying to save her friend, and her friend is just like, no, I'm going to marry someone. And I also understood for Phoebe because like she was just like, bro, people are dying. Like, he says he loves me.
Look, she was having a mental break, and it kind of shows how horrible the whole group is because she was the only person that was having reasonable reactions to all these horrible things that were happening. I know she obviously had the additional thing with the crazy stalker babe who kidnapped her and said, I'm your best friend. My babe said, where's your tattoo? She was like,
don't worry, I will write it for you. I have a knife. I think I literally like my jaw dropped. I was like, oh my God, like must suck to be famous, I guess.
Bro, I mean, to be fair though, that was the thing because you, Steph, you're posting everything and saying, hey guys, come with me for this. Like, people create parasocial relationships in their head. It doesn't mean she deserved it though, and it was pretty crazy. So she was the only one who was like really reeling for everything. Even Simon's sister, yes, she cried a little bit, but my babe did not seem that phased that her brother died.
Because her brother was horrible. And I think that's actually, like, none of these people are actually friends with each other. Like, I'm sorry, the Nigerian babe, the girl, she kills me. She's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go and run my tech companies and, like, show up to this club because I'm bored. Like, none of them are friends, I'm telling you. Like, I'm sure, like I don't know. I don't know why they just hang around each other if they don't like each other.
Even when they went to the countryside and Roald is really like, oh yeah, he's the killer. He killed someone, they're dead. Like, they're all just like, oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna go run after him. I'm like, none of you are normal people. But I really, really like that they were just like the incredibly wealthy and horrible people. Like, they just didn't give them redeeming features. Like, full up saying, you know, that they hate democracy and they think that they should have the right to just kill people. Like, I believe that this is how rich people talk and think about us.
Honestly, that's fair. I believe that too. Like, it was just like, wow to see it like up front. I'm just like, oh my God. And Gemma was horrible. Like, I'm sorry.
Awful. Like, and the things they kept saying that she would do, like, oh, she just used to drive over pheasants, or like, why are you being unreasonably cruel? No, I'm glad she died. This is the thing, right? I think every season there's like 2 to 3 people. I'm like, is it the worst thing that they killed you? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, honestly, Gemma was just like, even when she showed up in his like imagination, I was like, what are you doing here? Like, can you fuck off?
I'm so dead.
But yeah, it was an interesting like season. I really like because like if they did the same format, I would have gotten bored of it. I would have been like, okay, so every season it's a new girl who's gonna get away with it. Like, just give me something new. I think for me, the most interesting part of this season was him really like legit trying to be a good person in his
Yeah.
head and like getting rid of like all of those parts of him. And even when he found out that okay, like you're insane and this is part of you, he was like, no, I'm going to kill both of us. I think Kate just fucked everything up because like his love for her was like, I want to live and now we can do good things together. Because when he jumps, I was like, oh, I mean,
Listen,
oh,
you're
but
really
like,
attached to him as a character because even when he jumps, I'm like, this isn't real. And I like when he was like, they say that when you jump, most people who jump regret it. And it's like, they were right. I'm like, can you see? You haven't even really started drowning and you've changed your mind. He's just, I think.
why are they patrolling the seas? Why are they dragging people out? You don't know why they've jumped. Leave them.
You said the police should unlook the situation.
Okay.
You're not wrong. You're really not wrong because it would have been better for him to die. Although, like I said, like you said, I'm really excited for season 5. I feel like they have uncharted territory here because Joe's with a woman that quote unquote loves him, who knows about his evil, and they can do whatever they want. Like, because the whole conflict of love was that love loved him and accepted him, and he was like, oh my god, wow, my wife is a monster. Okay, so I do want to see how it goes with Kate, even though I'm just like, based on how the season went and them really beating us over the head with the understanding that Joe is not a good person, I don't see the show ending with Joe getting a happy ending, which is good. I think he's absolutely either going to die or go to jail, and I think that's the right call. I think he needs to be put away.
I don't think Kate is going to leave. I think she's going to die as well. I'm sorry to her.
Do you think Joe's going to kill her?
I think Joe's going to kill Kate.
Do you think he's going to kill her while he loves her, or is he going to like be like, oh, actually, I don't love you, you're broken like all the other ones, and then try and kill her?
I think the first one.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm not sure what next season's going to bring. Like, are we going to see Henry? Is he going to parent his child? Is he just fine with the whole world knowing where he is and his kid is just living with someone else? What?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I really want to understand Kate more as a character because like, yeah, she really has a history of like, she knows how to pick them. I'm going to say that. She knows how to pick them because she's just like, my dad is horrible. But then when she meets someone that, is like her dad like 20 years ago, she's like, love. Is this love? I don't know.
I love that Joe has cut his hair and his beard. Like, I'm like, girl, he was giving homeless. Trim it down. Let's look put together.
I guess wanted to do the whole like I'm an English professor vibe.
He was just hiding. He didn't want people to recognize his face, so he said, "Okay, I'm gonna grow a beard. You can only see my eyes."
Oh my God, was he actually teaching them things? Like, let's be honest. Like,
I mean, based on television, yeah. So TV professors are different from real life professors. They just say sentences, and then the class is like, "Yeah, debate." What? Sir, is there a curriculum?
Like, why are there like 5 people in his class? Like, okay.
I guess it's a seminar class for. I don't know. I have no idea. I
guess these universities don't do background checks.
I mean, Joe always finds papers and passports and gets things together. That being said, Love's parents have a lot of money, and they sent someone to try and kill him at the beginning of the season. Now he's just come out and he's like, "Hey, I'm alive." What is gonna happen?
That guy is going to be so upset because he's out living his life. He's like, okay, I made a fair deal. I'm living my life. I want out this game. And this guy has come out.
No, I would be so mad. Like, I retired from murdering and now everybody know that I did a sloppy job. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. And Marienne also seeing that in the papers. I'm being like, okay, well.
Any sense, she will just keep quiet and move on. Like, you don't have to do any detective work. You don't have to reach out to anyone. You don't have to, just live your life in peace. But I hope Nadia gets some kind of vindication. I don't know if it's possible. Like, maybe we'll see her out of jail. But I think she was really smart. I mean, she was clearly too smart for her own good. That's her problem throughout the whole season. She kept thinking she's smarter than everyone else and putting herself in situations that she shouldn't have. So maybe this time in jail will make her humble herself so she can. um, I like the actress who plays Kate in a generalized sense. I think she's doing a good job. I do feel like out of all of the love interests that Joe has had, he and Kate have not a lot of chemistry. And I'm not really seeing, like, I like their banter and stuff, but I don't see the, like, ooh, I'm so drawn to you energy. I don't know, maybe it's just
me.
Okay, maybe I'll see it next time.
Okay, at least anything is better than I Wolf You.
Okay, look, I Wolf You was ick, but it was just to show that these are two gross children who don't understand what they're putting.
These are adults. They're not children. They're adults saying I Wolf You. So I would take Kate.
I don't know. Him and Love had chemistry. It was cringe, but it was hot. It was hot.
No, I did see like their last date was so cute. I'm sorry, just walking down the streets. I'm like,
no, you're right. Even his comments about, oh, a comet is coming. I'm like, it's a bit romantic, you know, in case the world ends. Let me just tell you. And I think that's what makes, like, this is how you know it's a fictional show versus real life. Joe is far too, like, charismatic and, like, likable for him to be kind of what he is. Like, he clearly has no issues getting women. Every season there's like 2 women who are in love with him and want to be with him.
I don't think he is charismatic. I don't think it's that. I think women just love that, like, quiet, broody character, and they're all like drawn to him all the time. Plus he's smart, so like you're like, ooh, he reads books and he's quoting people, so like I'm going
maybe I shouldn't have said charismatic, but like people like him. Like, he's funny, he's witty, he says things that they enjoy, he's sensitive, you know, he understands their pain and makes them feel better. Like, he has aspects that women are drawn to. Like, literally, even Phoebe that was trying to throw herself at him, like, it's very strange to me that his whole thing seems to be like, I want to find love, but like he doesn't actually have problem getting people drawn to him.
I think it's just that mysterious vibe, and I don't blame him for it. I blame the women, because stand up, stand up, stand up. Because like half the time he's just staring at you and you are making things up. You think he's like looking at your beauty, but he's just talking in his head like a mad person. And you're like, wow, he's staring at me, so romantic.
I'm dead. Look, overall, strong season, very solid. I think it's continuing the story well. I have a feeling season 5 is going to be the final season, just because the way Penn has been interviewing and talking about, I don't want to do sex scenes and Joe is crazy. Like, maybe he's tired of playing the role, which is fine. 5 seasons is very solid, especially for Netflix. And if it is, I think they've set themselves up to have a very good final season that wraps things up in a fulfilling way. Like, I can see the story getting to a climax and be like, ooh, and it's good. I'm going to hope that Miss Jenna Ortega has some time to film. So apparently she was supposed to be in season 4, but she was filming Wednesday. And someone made a joke. She was like, oh, she can't walk from one Netflix lot to the other one. But hey.
But who was she supposed to be?
She's the girl from season 2. Oh god, the little girl that he helped, that was the sister. Oh my god, I forget her name right now, and I feel so bad. But Joe sends her money because Love killed her older sister. Like, he was living in the apartment complex next to them. Remember?
Oh, I remember.
I feel so bad that I forget her name. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so she was there in season 2. She was supposed to be in this season apparently, but you know, filming conflicts. But if there's some break of filming season 3 of Wednesday when they're filming season 5 of You, maybe she, even if it's just for one episode, to be like, hey, I'm alive and I'm good. Because like, what is her life like? Joe sends her money, but she thinks Joe is a serial killer. Like, now he's on the news. Like, what does she think is happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything you want to see in season 5 that you're like excited for, hoping to enjoy?
Not really. I'm just excited to see the dynamic of like Kate and Joe's relationship, and like to hear what he told her exactly, and like how much she's willing to ignore. Because I don't know, I think she fully just gave up, and she was like, okay, I'm just stepping into my father's shadow right now. Like, I'm him. I am him now. Like, you know.
But like that was fully a choice. Like your dad is dead. There's no one controlling you anymore. Like your dad is dead and Joe confessed. You could have done anything at all.
I
And
think he just couldn't stand the fact that her entire life was a lie.
I'm so sorry, but like I have no sympathy for rich people who have this. Oh no, my daddy gave me a job. Oh no, my daddy helped me get a house. My life is so difficult. I'm like, grow up. Like your problems aren't real. It's just so insulting to like see them be like, my biggest difficulty is being unable to stand outside of my dad's shadow, but I befriend all the rich people who know who my dad is. My babe could have actually like, you know, when in the first half of the season when they let Joe know that her dad is super rich and he's shocked. So the people she's close to all know who she is. So you actually aren't trying to hide. You could have made friends with people like Joe who don't know who your dad is, but that's not the kind of circle you want. So
Yep.
it just goes to Kate is bad vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they'll have a kid?
I hope not. Because like I don't know, the genes are not nice.
I mean, Henry's parents are literally Joe and Love. And Love was a lot of things, but she killed someone for being anti-vax. I think that is great mothering. I don't know.
Oh my God.
No, but I like them. Shout out to the writers for being really creative and trying to do something fresh all the time. You're right, it would have get really repetitive if every season was the same. And I don't think I would have come up with this. I feel like I watch a lot of shows where I'm like, oh, I would have figured that out. I don't even know what I would have written. If they said, okay, time for season 4 of You, what do you write now? And I've just been looking at them. He's in Paris. That's it. That's all I would have had for that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it was a nice, interesting direction that I wasn't like expecting, but it's surprising that people are not really into it anymore. I think they really prefer the stalker vibe, or maybe they're just over the show in general. Like I don't know what's going on, because I think they did enough advertising actually, but for the second drop, maybe not.
I think it's this split season. I think the first half people were really watching because I remember when the first half dropped, I didn't watch it right away. So I was seeing a lot of different people on my TL talking about it. For the second half, I don't think they advertised it properly. And I think because people are used to Netflix's like model, you get all the episodes at once. People were not thrilled with the fact that it's divided into 2. They didn't remember stuff, like people get uninterested. We'll see if it picks up over the next week or so. I don't think I saw one tweet from the Netflix account saying You is coming back. Like maybe I missed it, but when the first season was coming out, months before it came out, I saw all of their ads about, oh, he's in London, he's British, he's a professor. I didn't see anything between the 2 halves. It's like they were like, it's out, whatever you guys want. And I actually think that's really possible because they already got really good viewing for the first half, which I guess is enough for the whole season. I don't know, Netflix needs to do better.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited. Hopefully we'll hear that there's season 5. I hope this isn't the final season. It could be the final season though. Like there aren't any loose ends, quote unquote. So the story could be over, but I do hope there is one more season to kind of put all the ducks in a row and know that, okay, this was you. Just, yeah. He really had a vacation. He went to Europe. He had a fun time. He relaxed. And then he came back with a babe. That's somewhere in Europe. That's a Gossip Girl story. And that's Chuck Bass went to London and came back with a wife. Like, babe, like this is literally the same thing.
Oh my God. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment as usual. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.